What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire?
Man, we got plenty to talk about, right? What a exciting weekend of NBA action. The NBA playoffs delivered, and let's jump right in, right? Because we were starting to talk. I said, let's just record this. Let's let the people
Yeah.
hear what we thought of all these games this weekend.
Yeah, let's get to yesterday's news first, man. We split, but for the week last week we went a sparkling 8-4. So there was a good week. You guys won as usual. And Spread, what did how did you do with your bet last week? Friday. You took the
I had the
Hawks. Great
Hawks.
call.
Yeah, I felt good because I came back with the Heat on Sunday. So I think that's going to be a gentleman's sweep, and I managed to catch the one that they won. You know, it's always rough when you think it's going to be 4-1. Do you think they're going to win game three? Or do you think they're going to win game four like the Raptors did, right?
Yeah.
Boy, hey, the Hawks came through. That was a fun game. Trae Young makes that floater in the lane with the game on the line. Great performance by him. But we saw yesterday, don't know if that's going to be enough here. I think Miami might be, you know, getting ready to end this series tomorrow night. So interesting to see what they're going to do with the Hawks, right? I don't think they can
Yeah.
necessarily run it back, but the brilliance of Trae Young is also the weakness of the team because the guy's so awesome on offense, but he's just so bad defensively. I don't know how you build around him, right? Because we've never
Yeah.
seen a championship team built like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that the old 76ers, they didn't win the championship, right? But they made the finals. But Iverson at least tried way harder than Trey, and he
Yeah.
got way more steals. So
Yeah,
it's like
Iverson
we've
was a
never
good
seen a
defensive
guy.
player, though, man. Iverson
Yeah,
actually was a good defensive player. They just could shoot over him, but as far as an effort and getting steals and really
yeah.
putting his body on the line, he did that every game. If you remember, he was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year coming out of college, off because his
Oh,
ability
see,
to
I
get
didn't
steals.
remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he's always been. He was kind of defensive player. Trey, his size is gonna always kill him, but he's so special offensively, man, that he's gonna always have his team in the run. And what's hurting him this year is last year they were able to get away with that because they had Capella. Capella was so good erasing stuff at the rim and being like a free safety that it really helped him with him going down this year. And also he hasn't performed really this season. He was nicked up a lot this year, and he really just didn't play as well as he did the prior year with the Hawks. So
Yeah, I thought he regressed a
Capella,
lot. Yeah.
yeah, Capella's the problem with that with him. I think they got a good team because if you look at it, their wings and stuff, they're all babies still. They all been drafted within the last 3 years. They're gonna have Herther and the kid from Virginia. They're gonna be there. They just picked both of them up.
I like
Uh,
Hunter, so I think you
yeah,
build around
Hunter. That's what I'm
Hunter.
talking about
I
from
think
Virginia.
Herder's tough to run with Trey because I know that he was supposed to be good on defense, and he's like average, but he's another one that they're quite happy to attack. And then John Collins is weird, man. There's some nights where I'm like, why do I think this guy's bad defensively? He plays great, and then other games where he just looks lost out there. So. Of course, maybe he's got a chance to still improve, but boy, it just seems like you're going to have to put some studs on there around there, right? Because we're watching a Miami team that has, the same offensive talent, and
Yeah.
they're just winning these games with ease because they're able to get stops, and the Hawks can't.
Yeah, and the situation with the Hawks that you said, Werther, he's Hertha, excuse me, is he's supposed to have been like a Clay. Atlanta built that
Yeah.
team after Golden State. He was supposed to be Clay, and Trey was going to be Steph, and they did a pretty good job, early. But now it seems like Hertha isn't he isn't as efficient from behind the 3-point line as he initially was, and as they thought he was going to be. But they're still young. A good off season. We'll see how they bounce back. Do you think Nate McMillan comes back next year?
I'm not.
No,
I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I don't. I don't think he comes back.
I wasn't really too impressed with him in Indiana. I had to eat my
Yeah,
words when he turned the team around last year, but that looks like it was just the new coach bump where hey,
that's what it
I
is.
came
That's
in, I
exactly what
got
it
him to
was.
buy in on the defensive end. He
Yeah.
doesn't really make a lot of adjustments.
Nah.
I'd be ready to move on, and
He's better as an assistant. He's a first seat guy to me. You know what I'm saying? He's a
yeah.
first seat guy. He good with dealing with the players, good at defense, coaching defense. That's why he really probably doesn't like coaching the house because his thing is defense. And he was able to get him to play it a little bit last year. And then there's something going on with John Collins and Trae Young. I don't really know what it is, but something is definitely going on with them. So we'll see, sooner or later we'll see what happens. Let's get to my game. I got it in reverse, but I was able to capitalize as well, the same way as you were. Um, I got the Pelicans. I took the Pelicans plus 1.5, I believe. No, plus 2. Sorry. They ended up not covering by 1 point. They had control of the game at the end. Chris Paul put on a clinic in the fourth quarter to pull it out. But as you saw, with his age, he wasn't able to do it again this game. So last night we were able to go take the Pelicans again money line with an even sweeter number, with a +3 and a +2.5 and a +140 and cash it. So we just got the games in reverse, but we were right on the right side with that. The Pelicans are a tough young team. Herb Jones going on Chris Paul is going to be a big move. Willie Green is very, very familiar with that Phoenix Suns team, and he's doing an excellent job with getting those young guys ready. It's a energy and enthusiasm, and also connectivity that you're seeing the Pelicans play with is very impressive, man.
Yeah, I mean, so what do we make of this series now? Because I'll tell you what, I'm a little surprised. You know, the Suns were an excellent road team. They had a chance to put the series away. You know, now you're keeping this young team alive. And I'll tell you what, it feels to me like the Pelicans season hinges on game 6. Because if they lose in 7 to Phoenix, I think they go in the off season pretty positive. If you lose
Right.
in 6, right, then we've had all these good feelings, but it's going to be 2 defeats in a row. You lost on your home court, you know. So I'm really interested to see game 6. But what do you think? I mean, do you think they push it to 7? Do they have a chance to win? I mean, how do you
I think
see
they
it goes
actually
from
have a
here?
decent chance to win this. They're a confident bunch, man. And see, the thing is, they have a veteran in CJ McCollum who's kind of been there, who's able to come through with some clutch shots. Brandon Ingram looks like he's really taking on to the leadership role. The main thing why I say they have a chance is they believe in each other and they love each other. You could tell that team is really playing for each other right now, man. And when
Yeah.
teams are doing that, you know the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll see on that one, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow because Game 5 tomorrow night in Phoenix. And, you know, quick reminder, I'm sure you're going to hear it from me on every show. The winner of Game 5 wins the series 82% of the time. So, pretty
82.
game tomorrow night. So, be looking forward to that. What were your other takeaways from this weekend? I mean, you know, a couple of the game series we'll talk about tonight. So, you know, hold off on Nets Celtics and you know, Raptor Sixers because that will go into tonight's. But what else do we have this weekend? Ah, the Mavericks and the Jazz. What do you think of that
Oh my
series?
goodness. Yeah, that's gonna set us up for later. We only gonna give you guys one.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, they are tonight. So the one I'm thinking of, I'm sorry, is Memphis and Minnesota. That's the one that we don't have for today.
Right,
What's going
right.
on there, man?
Memphis and Minnesota has been the most entertaining series so
It
far.
has, yeah.
The two youngest NBA teams playing each other. We got a couple stars in the making. The funniest thing out of the whole series was, did you see the cat interview after game 4 when he was trying to be Kobe with the interview? And he's
No, I saw everyone talking about it on Twitter. And I didn't feel like watching it. I'm like, more
oh,
cat
he's such
slander.
a
This guy
goof.
can't do anything right.
He's such a big goof. He's over there talking about the job is still yet to be
Yeah, I
finished.
saw they were saying he was changing his voice.
He was changing his voice, trying to talk all deep and serious. You just were talking about you were going home to drink some red wine or some stupid fluff stuff. But he, he's inconsistent. We saw him. He played a great game. He was big in the fourth quarter. Now let's see what he does. Well, when they're in Memphis, this series is very interesting. It's an up and down series. Every time I think Memphis has it and is about to put the coup de grace to these guys, they figure out a way, man. I got to give Minnesota props on that. Anthony Edwards, tough kid, man. Body built for the NBA. Takes a nick, goes to the back. Everybody's worried. They gave him a shot, passed it up, and he was right back in there playing at the same level he was, man. And that's going to go a long way. Earlier this morning, I was watching Colin Cowherd. That's the only show that I watch. I've been a fan of Colin, man. I've been watching him probably 15, 16 years. You know, more about, because he doesn't talk about what's going to happen on the games. It's more about information, looking at things from a GM perspective, you know, another view at it. And I've always enjoyed the way that he covers things. Sometimes he gets a little ludicrous with some of his takes, but it's okay. You know, it's TV. I still like the way he approaches things more with the GM mindset. And he said a great point this morning. He said that long term, he liked Anthony Edwards over John Morant just
I do
because.
too. I do
Yeah,
too. Because
yeah,
Anthony Edwards, A1, he could be a lockdown defender once he figures it
exactly.
out. He's got the athleticism to do it. So where he's going to be like a PG, or maybe not the level of Kawhi, right? But the
Well, that's
type of
saying
player that
he
is
made
going
a
to be
good
the best.
comment. He said Dwayne Wade. That's what Colin said this morning. He has a
Yeah,
chance
I
to
got.
be
Yeah,
Dwayne
you
Wade
can
with
be
a
on.
better jumper.
Yeah, on the wing. You're gonna take the opponent's best guy out of the game, and you're gonna be the best scoring option on the floor. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
he's got the potential to be. John Morant, as good as he can be, like the most he's ever gonna be is like a Steph level defender, where you're like,
yeah,
he does good for his size, right? Like he gives
right,
good effort, right? But
right.
he's never going to be able to just take an opponent out of the game. And I think Edwards, by year 5, if he's really taking the ascension that we expect and he's in that MVP conversation, it's going to be because he's taking away the opponent's top option while he's dropping 25 a night.
And the thing too is that we spoke about this earlier. How much of this punishment can John Morant take going to the basket?
Yeah.
He's already thin, and he lives in the paint. I think he was the #1 paint scorer in the NBA this year, right?
Yeah. And it's the first time a point guard's done it in like,
Probably since
I don't
Tony
even know how
Parker.
long.
Probably since Tony
Tony
Parker.
Parker
But
never
see,
did it
oh, he never
because
did.
like
He was high though.
Duncan
He was
and
very high.
Duncan and those guys were back in the league then. A lot of the reason none of the point guards have ever done it before is because the centers are just so high.
Right.
Like
Well,
Ewing and all those guys.
yeah.
So
He needs to develop a Tony Parker like game to last in the league. He's going to have to develop a way better floater. He never even, if he has it in his arsenal, I've never seen him really go to it. He always goes straight to the key. So physical and
I've
such
seen
a
him use it, but he's got to work on it. It's not like Trey's. Like Trey's feels like money. Like I feel like
right.
when Trey gets to it, and especially if I'm on the Hawks or if I'm betting against him, I'm like, well, that's going in. Like same thing with James Harden going to the free throw line. Like I expect him to make both. It's just okay. There's
Yeah.
two.
Right.
He's not there yet. He's got the talent though. If he adds that jump shot, he'll be good because he's also got the basketball IQ and the competitiveness. So
He needs
I'm
to
really
get
high
with a
on him.
shot doctor. He got to get with a shot doctor. I don't even like his form. He needs to switch his whole form on his jumper because when he's shooting still. You could tell the same shot he probably shot in 8th grade when he first learned how to shoot from deep. It's kind of like a
Yeah, I
set
read a lot
shot.
of coaches they don't like to mess with it
He got to
when
develop
they've
a
had it for
different
that
shot,
long.
man.
Yeah.
He got to change the stroke. It worked for Kawhi Leonard. It worked for a lot of professionals, man. You got to change the stroke sometimes, man. You got to trust these shots because he has, with all the athletic ability and the touch that he has it. He just has to go for it. I think his main thing right now is still trying to be a highlight reel. He's kind of like how Westbrook was when he first hit the league, where when he's going to the paint, he's looking really dunk on something, and
Yeah.
that's a cool mentality to have. But long term, at your size as a guard, you're not going to have a lot of years in the NBA playing like that. And as you
Guys
get
that
older,
size aren't making it past 30 anyways.
yeah, but this is the thing too. That's why another thing, getting to we're gonna go to the Philadelphia and Toronto series next, and kind of the segue into that. I was hearing a lot of people talking about Harden, saying he fell off, and retweeting that
I was
idiot
saying
Stephen,
that.
retweeting that idiot Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith was saying all this stuff about he's washed and he's not. It feels like Houston got rid of him at the right time. He's definitely declined physically, but mentally he's still a great player. He still can see a lot of things develop. His anticipation is great. So I think it's very smart on James Harden's part to go to point guard because now he's facilitating. He's not wearing out, because Houston, we wore him out in Rocks. I watched him go for 3-4 years straight, not missing the game, dude, being all the offense by himself. He's bringing the rock up. He's dribbling like the whole 20 seconds and doing step back, amazing threes and stuff, and just on the rock all game, pounding and pounding. So I'm sure his body has finally felt the wear and tear of all of those years of being a single offensive weapon for Houston. And now he's kind of went to being a real point guard. He's one of the more pure point guards in the league right now with how he facilitates and gets his team good shots. And that's to make his the longevity of his career last, man. That's smart on his part. And see, that's getting back to Ja. He has to get a jumper, man. He's going to have to get a jumper. He's going to have to start understanding that, hey, man, I can't beat you guys just with my physicality because this is not going to always be here, And the moment he gets that, he'll be okay. AE looks like he's here for the be 10-year all-star, man, with his size and with his strength. What did you think about that Toronto and Philly series this weekend, since we just talked a little bit about it with Harden?
Yeah, I used to really like Philly, and um, the discourse around the officiating is like my least favorite part about the NBA, right?
Right.
Because it's like, and it's true because it does affect the game, right? Like, so first Nick Nurse is complaining, right? And then, then Embiid doesn't get the calls. It's just like when you have guys, like Embiid Harden not as much anymore, but how he used to be, that they're just so reliant on the official's whistle. It can just lead to like a kind of an exhausting dialogue around it. But I mean, it's just something you throw in your handicap. I expect the whistle to go back in Embiid's favor tonight. I think that
Right.
they're gonna close it out tonight, right? I mean, once you get that 3-0, that's why it's so rough. Even when they drop that game four, it's just like okay, okay, right? I mean, they
Right.
got to feel pretty good in Philadelphia tonight. They'll probably close it out. Embiid probably has a big night. I felt the line was right though, because eight's kind of right around that area where you could stop fouling. Philadelphia's probably gonna take some money. So if you want to be contrarian and take the Raptors, like I don't think it's crazy that they cover here. And I don't think it would be even crazy if they covered in a game that it never really felt like they had a chance to win. Where the
Yeah.
margin is hanging around between 6 and 12 the whole game. Philadelphia is in firm control, but the Raptors still get a cover there at the end. I mean, maybe they foul past 8, but boy, I don't know. I don't see it. So I think they did a great job with the number tonight, and I'm kind of just fatigued of that series already. Just from number one, it's not competitive. Philadelphia's proved they're the better team, and then number two, the discourse around the officiating is kind of getting a little tiresome to me. What do you think? I mean, I know you think Philadelphia covers that tonight, though, right?
Yeah, I had a future on that. I had a future on them as soon as they hit. When I saw that low number, when remember I told Noops I felt completely opposite. It was going to be 4-1, 4-0, and I took both of
Yeah.
those um, after that day when we spoke, because I like I said, it was too many sharps on on the Raptors to do something in the series, and anytime that's the talk of Twitter, it's going
Yeah,
absolutely
like
the
the
opposite
public
way.
dog idea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going absolutely the opposite way. I see that's getting wrapped up tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers have a runaway victory, honestly, because the Raptors, that last game, the fourth quarter, it was pretty much a gift from the officials. They were calling that game so one-sided. They were like literally ambushing the Sixers on one side. I guess the NBA needed one more game, so you know how
Were
it
they?
goes.
So that was the one I told you I skipped. I skipped one game. I'm like, okay, I'm over the series.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
fine
You
not
didn't miss
betting on
much.
game 4.
You didn't miss much. You missed the
Yeah.
Scott Foster orchestration. That's all.
I hate that we know their names, and we'll get into this a little later
Yeah,
with the next game
yeah,
for tonight. In fact,
yeah,
you want to? I'm done talking about Philadelphia. You
yeah. Let's
keep
go
going
to
if
the
you want.
Golden State series,
So,
man. Golden
oh,
State
we
was
didn't talk
supposed
about that one.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, Golden State should have swept last night. Once again, the officiating got involved. I guess that the NBA needs a couple more of these games to fulfill some obligations. Draymond Green, the Warriors were up to clean strip on Aaron Gordon. They're supposed to have the ball going back down to kind of run the clock out, and they called the most bogus foul ever on them. And uh, I guess Steve Kerr didn't have any more challenges for it. It was the sixth foul, but not only did it hurt where Aaron Gordon was able to go to the free throw line and tie the ball game. Now, when the Warriors get the ball to take the lead or tie the ball game later, he's not in the game. So you guess who
No.
has the inbound?
You I went during that game. You know what I was thinking?
Oh,
Since they're changing the rules, first of all, I want that Elam ending where you just add 8 points, and that way the game ends on a made basket, just like in a tennis match. It always wins on the winner winning a point.
right,
Um, I think they should just change it with these fouls. That at the sixth foul on a person, the team who's fouled on. So in this case, Steve Kerr would be able to say, "Okay, we'll give them 2 free throws and possession, but keep Draymond in." Or we pull them out and it's normal. But
right,
hey, give them the option to keep the guy in the game. Nobody wants to see these games decided with the best people on the bench. And this whole fouling out idea is this archaic idea from when they're shooting in a peach basket,
right,
and it wasn't $1 billion industry. And I mean, hey, you and I, like, we love these little players, right? The Max Struces, right? I went Jordan Poole's not a good, but Bielika, right? Like,
right.
okay, cool. Like, hey, I like those guys, right? We don't want to see those guys defending, deciding the
Otto Porter,
championship, right?
Otto
Yeah,
Porter, because
yeah.
that inbound play was definitely Steve Kerr's getting killed right now for that play. That play was not for Wiggins. That was Otto Porter thinking he's smart and saying, "Oh, they got Curry covered, or they got Poole covered. Let me just get the ball to Wiggins because he got a shorter guy on him because he's inbounding and normally he's not in that position. That's Draymond inbounding, and the play would have ran more smoothly and the Warriors would have won with ease. That hindered one of the greatest fourth quarter comebacks in playoff history we've seen. What a performance in the fourth quarter by Curry, by Poole, by Splash Brother number 3, Tom Clay. You know, like unbelievable performance by those guys. It's so entertaining when they get to going, man. You know, even if it, and no one's suffered more from the Warriors' success than me as a Rockets fan. But man, I still can't ever root against those guys. The only time I didn't like them was when KD was there. That's the only time. Besides that, I've always loved Steph. I always loved Clay because I love the style of basketball they play with, and I love how they play with a lot of heart, and they love the big moments. You know, ever since they were kids, man. I followed Curry since Davidson. I've always been a fan of him, man. Klay Thompson came from anywhere. I didn't know where he was from, but I remember Mark Jackson saying after they drafted him from his practices after the first couple practices.
I'm trying to think where he went. Did he go to UCLA?
He was from Washington State.
Oh, Washington State.
There, but he wasn't. I don't remember him making an impact where I paid attention to him. You know, I saw him play. I just don't remember him. You know, he wasn't that impactful. But I remember Mark Jackson saying when he first drafted those kids that he had the best shooting.
I remember when he said that too. I was like, hey,
and everyone laughed at him. They thought he was a nut.
I remember I was working at UPS and the whole warehouse was laughing about that. Yeah.
And now look, 10 years later, he was right on the money because they will go down as the greatest shooting backcourt in the history of NBA. So, you know, that team is always very entertaining. They'll close out by a big number when they get Denver tomorrow night. I'm sure they'll close out with a big number. I'll probably play that game.
Let me look what it is right now.
Maybe 7, I'm guessing. I'm thinking -7. That's what the Heat are.
8.5.
8.5. That's easy. They're going to win by double digits because you already know what's going to happen.
I hate those 8.5. That's where it starts to get real tricky for me.
Man, you know what's going to happen in the third quarter. By the end of the third quarter, the Warriors are going to be up 20 because what's going to happen is the last game, they're a little heated about that. They want to close the game out, get a sweep and go home and get some rest and have some fun. I know Draymond was ready to go get to the beach or get in the pool or something, or do some podcasts or something. Curry's ready to go home with the kids. Clay was ready to go play with one of his Instagram models. You know what I'm saying? Like they were ready to get that series over, man. And I think they're a little upset that the refs didn't allow them to do that. So I expect a big number from them. Now let's get to tonight's games. We're going to be giving you one together. Did we touch everything tonight out of tonight's plays? Did we go to
There's one game we left out, and it's because the referee. I hate that this is a storyline. Scott Foster got assigned to Boston, so you know he's gonna.
I might not even watch the show. Spread. I might not even watch that game.
Which way were you leaning if it was just a nondescript ref crew? Because I was just a little worried that you get that Raptor style gentleman sweep style victory out of Brooklyn tonight. But I don't know. Boston's like so much better.
Unless we get unless a funny whistle's involved, it seems like the young boys are looking to really embarrass KD. It looks like Tatum has on his mind.
They look like they're giving up.
And Tatum and Brown look like. Yeah, and Tatum and Brown look like they can't wait to just annihilate them. Like, yes, like it's the kind of same situation we saw when Kobe raised up and got a bad MJ on his downtime, like how when LeBron caught Kobe when he was going on his downtime, they've caught KD at the right moment. He's during a tech boom, man. KD made $500 million, man. You know, a lot of people don't talk about that. You know,
I think he's just getting punked. Look at Tatum, man. Look how jacked Tatum is.
He don't look like the same player, man. He's living in New York and he's living a whole different life. You saw his manager, his business partner sitting down there climbing, sitting next to Gayle King and stuff. Like, you know, like they're living a different world right now. And he was doing, I don't know what made this guy leave Golden State. He could have just eased on into 2 more championships before he retired and could have fooled people. And to fool people to believing he was one of the greatest, when I've always told them he's an offensive player. That's it. He's a great offensive player. He's no different than Dirk. I always put KD and Dirk in the same category. They're great offensive players. They can win you games, but they need people around them because they're the greatest scorers you're going to see, but they can't give you anything really else besides that. You know, KD has developed into more of a rebounding and doing assists lately, but now his body's just giving up, man. He's breaking down. Like,
well, he's 34.
Yeah, but look how many games he's played. He's been in the league since he was 18 years old, man.
He's
He's
big
played a
too. He's not like LeBron out there running around looking like a linebacker.
he shoot a lot of jumpers. He shoots a lot of jumpers, but his legs, look at the thinness of his legs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tatum's just punking him.
Yeah, he getting all up in his grill, like all up in his
And there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. What's he gonna do?
He can't get past him. He's not strong enough. He's not strong enough to bite him up.
Yeah.
He's not fast enough to go around
controlling him. And so here's why I'm mad at myself on this series for getting fooled, right? Because KD and Kyrie, right? They're the best. They're the most skilled, right? Because they're constantly making these beautiful basketball shots, right? The best highlights are when this team's on fire, right?
Right.
I mean, he's hitting jumpers over dudes. Kyrie's getting heck of space, hitting little floaters, right? Those are hard shots. And when they don't go in, then what do? Because they don't have any high percentage shots to go to. Neither of them are getting to the rim. I mean, even Irving's not getting to the rim anymore. That's why he's taking so many tough shots. And boy, he's one that's really frustrating me. I feel that the Boston Celtics took KD out of his game, and I don't want to write him off because he's going to be back balling out next year in the regular season. He's going to be dropping 30-something a night, and he's going to win people money in daily fantasy.
So. I think so.
Because no one's going to – they're not going to do that like during the regular season. It's the Boston's that good defensively.
It's not the problem. The problem is a lot with Boston, and Tatum is playing great D, but the old KD that had the first step that he used to have, he would have got Tatum in foul trouble because all he would have did.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the regular season when he's got like,
But if he's lost, how many games he's going to play next year? The way his body's looking like he might play 40.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not writing him off. But my point is, Kyrie Irving's still in his prime, and he's just disappeared, man.
Kyrie don't give a damn. Something's happened. He don't care.
You seen those guys that when their shot's not falling, they make sure to do extra to affect the game to help them win. He's just like, oh, my shot's not falling.
He's over. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie's retired this offseason, bro. He's over this NBA life, period. I saw him walking into the did you see that video of him walking into the game last game? I've never seen him look like that. He looked like he was just like, I'll be so glad when this BS is over. Like he was dragging himself. And he's fast. He's not. And
if I didn't eat till 5 p.m. and you had me on a show, I'd be looking like that too. Like,
dude, this is probably his first time doing that. I'm familiar with. I fasted before, and I've done Ramadan before, so like I know that what he's going through. You're supposed to lift you up. It's not supposed to make you go.
After game one, I was ready to just lock up the refrigerator. Right? He scored how many points? 36?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's more than that. It has nothing to do with the fasting. It's something mentally going on, and I don't know. You know how it is when things get to going south in the locker room. A lot of stuff gets to be, gets aired out. People start saying a lot of things that they've already had on their chest for a while. So it's no telling what's going on in that locker room after these games because Kyrie gave him all he could that first game. He deferred as we knew he would to KD the second game, but he had a horrible game. But KD didn't show up at all. And this third game, he also tried to be like, okay, I know my guy's going to get it going. KD is a shell of himself, man. He can't do it right now.
I don't think he is. I think Boston's that good. I think he's going to kill next year.
His movement don't look the same to me, man. He don't look the same, man. But all he needs to
do against a normal defense is just shoot over everybody. He just can't do it in this series.
Yeah, but it's a little lean with his shoulder and the first step that KD has.
It's because he's getting beat. It's because he's getting beat right now.
Yeah, he's got an explosiveness and a little lean to him.
Yeah, I'll admit his explosiveness is gone, but he's that type of dude that he's going to be scoring next year regardless. So anyway, my point is I don't know what to do with that game because let's be honest, it doesn't matter.
No,
even if they win tonight, they're losing in Boston next time.
Nope.
Maybe
and I can't believe I drank the Kool-Aid. I got to give Ski props to. I'm gonna try to bring Ski on tomorrow in the morning. He told me before that series that the Celtics was going to win that series. He said,
"Man, we overrated that greatness." But usually, dudes beat teams. And we thought they had the dudes. The reason we were wrong is those guys
the two dudes with the Celtics. The Celtics had the two dudes. That's the thing. The Celtics had the two dudes because Jaylen Brown is really just a mercenary. He's just sitting back like, okay, him and Tatum are fighting for chances to cut their throat out. Like, no, man, give it here, my turn. Like they're trying to battle each other on the team. Like, who's going to be the first one to take the crown from the king? So it's a beautiful thing to see, man. It's called evolution. We see it all the time, man, in the NBA and over years of sports. I've been watching this since the late 80s, since a little boy, a little baby boy, and it's always been the same thing. It's the young boys, it's a young man's game. And sooner or later, people get older and here come the kids. And when they come, the right ones are going to come ruthless as you're supposed to. And that's how Boston looks right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep them tonight and let Scott Foster get some special instructions.
Nobody wants to watch him, man.
Yeah,
let's jump into our pick.
Parlay, man. We're going to do it straight. It's just a straight today. We're on the same side. We fished around. Our main thing is give you guys winners. We don't have time to, guess. We only give you solid picks on here. And we're on Dallas -3. What you think about the spread?
Yeah, I just found a -2.5 at Bookmaker. That's the play that we're going to give out. So check those offshores here. I'm so talking about teams I'm tired of. This Utah team, I'm tired of them too. And Powell doesn't miss those free throws, and it's not like he's Andre Drummond, right? He shoots 75% from the line. They should have won that last game. That was Utah's last little gasp, man. I don't believe in this team. The Mavericks got a great chance tonight. That was Luka's first game back. He had 30 and 10, looked healthy. He's going to be back more in the mix tonight, probably working a little more Jalen Brunson. But at home, this place is going to be rocking. We saw what they're able to do to lift up, in that game one when we thought they were going to be overmatched with talent, how much the crowd mattered. They're back at home. These role players are going to be shooting like crazy. Probably another big night from Maxi Kleber. Reggie Bullock is huge to this team. There's a reason he doesn't come off the floor. Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, all the best defenders are on Dallas except for Rudy. Give me the Mavericks, man.
Yeah, man. Jason Kidd has Quinn Snyder's blueprint down. He has no shot. The books are giving out a gift tonight with this one. I see the Mavs winning this game.
It should be like 4.5 to 5.
Yeah,
that's why we didn't want to give out the other games. We got one game where the line's off by 2 to 2.5 points.
Man,
and then the
this
other
line
two are
way off.
Yeah, I think that Sixers line is perfect, and that Celtics game is a complete toss-up because I'm not going to say the line's perfect, but I'm just saying there's so many things that can go. I hate the fact that refereeing matters, but this game the line is off. Let's attack the bad line they put up and let them have their good lines.
Yeah, we're going to attack this one heavy, man. This is going to be one of the bigger bets I made. And it's not like Utah's they're not playing good for one. And then two, they're a terrible road team. They're not a good team on the road. They were 17-25-1 against the spread on the road this year, man. They're below 500 on the road this year, whereas in Dallas is 30-13 at home this year. Man, they have a great home environment. And the main thing is they know that they have these guys' number. They had them last game. Luka with a beautiful step back 3-pointer over Rudy Gobert, 7-3 stretched out, 4-point lead. I knew this game was in the bag. I'm texting my clients. We thinking this was over. And then, as you said, Powell misses those big free throws. They let Mitchell come in, and he shot a horrible shot. Everyone's clapping for the ball. He's only thinking about himself, forces a floater, misses it.
I'm Mitchell, too.
And Luka Doncic can't gather the rebound, man. And Mitchell gets it, runs into his body and gets a dry and one. So that gave him the 1 point. And then Powell comes down like a bonehead and gets nervous, and he doesn't even make one free throw. Then they come back, and he's so shook from missing the free throws, he doesn't cover the roll, and they get a dunk with Gobert. It's just a mental breakdown. And I'm sure that gives great teaching points for Jason Kidd. They already know they had these guys. They're going to blow them out tonight. I don't expect this game to be close at all. Golden State, pardon me. Utah is 1-2-3 Cancun right now. You could tell everybody's ready to get out of there. The team is so sick of Donovan Mitchell. You could tell, man, those guys cannot stand him. I'm looking at the body language on the court and what's going on, man. Like, anyone can see what's going on with that team. Quinn Snyder's ready to get out of there. He's probably thinking about going to beautiful LA and becoming a big star, because I could see him going to the Lakers immediately after this series is over with, man. So give me the team that's on the rise against a team that's all the way mailing it in, man. And they looked up and got to this. This is supposed to be the gentleman's sweep tonight.
I know. I was so pissed. I was ready to get rid of this team. Now we got to write about them 2 more times.
Now we got to watch them and talk about this trash for 2-4 games, and they might make it 3, because when they go back to Utah, we don't know what kind of refereeing we're going to get. They might want to make it a game 7 in Dallas and the Luka show, for some money, even though they know Dallas is going to win. So I hate the Utah win their last game. But tonight, guys, we're pounding it. We're going to make this a 5% win, man. So we're gonna load up on the Mavs -2.5. While that number's still good, man. So when you guys get it, go on and bet it now. I saw it at 3, but spread has found a 2.5 offshore, man. If you could find that, hammer it, man. I don't think this game is going to be close at all. Anything for the people, Spirit, before we get out of here?
No, man. Just excited to watch some NBA tonight and come back tomorrow with more winners.
Yes, sir. We're gonna be here tomorrow. We'll have a guest for you guys. I'll let you know early in the morning on Twitter who it's gonna be. Also, this Friday we got the CEO of SCOON TV, Curtis SCOON, coming on to talk about the fight, the Shakur fight that's coming up this weekend. I'm interested to hear about that because I don't know anything about betting boxing or UFC because I really don't trust betting things that's left into judges' hands. So we'll talk a little bit about that with Big Curtis SCOON, the CEO of SCOON TV, which we're on every day, Monday through Friday with the Wagering World. Follow my guy Spread at Spread ASTAIRE. Follow me at 5 Star in Vegas. Please spell out the 5. You can also subscribe to his YouTube channel, that's Spread ASTAIRE. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is 5 Star in Vegas Sports Investments. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck to you all tonight.